Do you ever feel like you are surrounded by people yet completely and utterly alone? You might be walking down a busy city street, shoulders brushing against strangers. Or maybe you're sitting in a bustling office, the sounds of keyboards and conversations filling the air. You could even be at a party, with music playing and laughter all around you. Yet, inside, a profound sense of isolation persists. This feeling is a quiet, hidden ache that many of us carry. It's a silent question that hangs in the air of our modern lives. In a world supposedly more connected than ever before, why do so many of us feel so deeply disconnected from one another? This sensation is not just a fleeting mood or a bad day. For millions, it has become the background noise of their existence. It is the loneliness epidemic. It is a crisis that doesn't announce itself with loud sirens or breaking news alerts, but grows silently in the spaces between us. It affects people of all ages, from all walks of life, in every corner of the globe. It is a shared human experience that has become one of the most pressing, yet least discussed issues of our time. Understanding this feeling is the first step toward finding our way back to each other. The experience of loneliness is a deeply personal one, yet its roots are woven into the very fabric of our contemporary world. We live in an era of unprecedented technological advancement, where communication is instantaneous and global. We can see the faces of loved ones thousands of miles away with the tap of a screen. We can gather hundreds or even thousands of friends and followers online. And yet, this digital web of connections often feels thin and fragile, unable to bear the weight of our real human need for belonging. This essay will explore this strange and painful contradiction. We'll dive deep into why we feel so disconnected in an age of constant contact. We'll look at the surprising and serious ways that this emotional state affects our physical health, our mental well-being, and the strength of our communities. More importantly, this is not a journey into despair. It's a guide to understanding and a roadmap to reconnection. We'll explore the path back to genuine, meaningful bonds. We'll discover how we can begin to bridge the gap that has grown between us, one small, intentional step at a time. The journey begins with acknowledging the question we all feel. Why now? Why, at a time when we possess more tools for communication than any generation in history, are we experiencing such a stark rise in loneliness? This is the central paradox of our time. We have built a world that is hyper-connected, yet we are arguably more isolated from one another than ever before. We send texts, emails, and direct messages in a constant stream. We share our lives through curated photos and status updates. We are, in theory, always in touch. But is this constant stream of information the same as genuine human connection? Is a like on a post a substitute for a supportive conversation? The data paints a clear and concerning picture. Over the last few decades, as the use of the internet and social media has skyrocketed, reported feelings of loneliness have followed a disturbingly similar upward trend. It seems that as our digital networks have expanded, our real-world, intimate circles have shrunk. We've traded deep, nuanced relationships for broad, shallow ones. The illusion of connection, offered so easily by our devices, can often mask the reality of our isolation, making it even harder to recognize and address the underlying problem. This digital paradox is not just an interesting social phenomenon, it is actively shaping our emotional lives. This epidemic of loneliness is more than just an emotional state. It is a public health crisis with severe consequences. Scientific studies have revealed a shocking truth. Chronic loneliness can be as detrimental to our health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It is linked to a higher risk of heart disease, a weakened immune system, cognitive decline, and even a shorter lifespan. The pain of feeling alone is not just in our heads. It registers in our bodies, creating real, tangible harm. It is a silent ailment that erodes our physical resilience from the inside out, making us more vulnerable to a host of other illnesses. Beyond the profound impact on individual health, loneliness takes a heavy toll on society as a whole. A community is not simply a collection of individuals living in the same geographic area. It is a web of relationships, of mutual support, of shared identity. Loneliness frays and breaks these threads. It erodes trust, reduces civic engagement, and fragments the very fabric that holds our communities together. When people feel disconnected, they are less likely to participate, to help their neighbors, or to work together for the common good. We are beginning to understand that healing this epidemic is not just a personal journey, but a collective necessity for a healthier, more cohesive world. Loneliness has been part of our story for as long as we've been human. What is new, however, is its scale. it has morphed into a widespread chronic condition. Health organizations are sounding the alarm, calling it an epidemic and a global health threat. More people are feeling profoundly lonely than ever before. This surge cuts across all demographics. The statistics demand our attention. Surveys reveal that 1 in 3 adults reports feeling lonely. Adolescents and young adults are now reporting the highest levels of loneliness. The feeling of being socially isolated has become a defining feature of modern life. This hidden crisis has been creeping up on us. Major shifts in how we live, work, and interact have fundamentally altered our social landscapes. The loneliness epidemic is a quiet crisis because it is often suffered in silence. We must bring this silent epidemic into the light so we can begin to address it openly and without judgment. Chronic loneliness has a profound and measurable impact on our physical bodies. It is a form of long-term stress, flooding our bloodstream with stress hormones like cortisol. This sustained stress response is directly linked to a higher risk of heart disease and stroke. Our immune response is also severely compromised by social isolation, leaving them more vulnerable. Perhaps most shockingly, chronic loneliness is a significant predictor of a shorter lifespan. We are social creatures, and when deprived of connection, our health deteriorates. The damage caused by loneliness weakens the bonds that hold our communities together. It's a living ecosystem of relationships, built on trust and a sense of shared purpose. Isolated individuals are less likely to engage. This creates a ripple effect, making the entire community more fragmented. These actions build social capital. Loneliness erodes this capital. This erosion of community has consequences for our collective well-being. Loneliness worsens mental health, making it harder to connect with others. Ultimately, the cost of loneliness is the loss of our shared humanity. Fostering a more connected society is a civic duty. Addressing loneliness means reweaving the social fabric, one relationship at a time. Social media was designed to connect us. Yet, there is a deep paradox at its heart. The very tool designed to bring us closer often makes us feel more isolated. Social media shows us a carefully curated, edited, and filtered version of life. We're presented with a highlight reel of everyone else's best moments. The messy, difficult, and mundane parts of life have been carefully cut out. Subconsciously, we begin to compare our own unfiltered reality with the perfected online personas of others. This is the highlight reel trap. When we're feeling down, logging onto social media can be like pouring salt on the wound. This constant exposure to idealized lives can erode our self-esteem and feed the very loneliness we are trying to escape. The digital world operates on a different currency of connection. It deals in likes, shares, comments, and followers. These metrics can provide a temporary rush, a fleeting sense of validation and belonging. Receiving a notification can feel like a small tap on the shoulder, a sign that someone is thinking of you. But this digital affection is a pale substitute for true intimacy. There's a profound difference between having 1,000 online followers and having one real-world confidant. The former offers breadth, while the latter provides depth. We have become, in a way, experts at collecting connections, but we are forgetting how to cultivate them into meaningful relationships. This is the illusion of intimacy. Social media creates a feeling of closeness without the substance of it. A like cannot replicate the warmth of a hug. A comment cannot replace the nuanced comfort of a heartfelt face-to-face conversation. A direct message lacks the shared presence of sitting with a friend in comfortable silence. We're tricked into believing that these frequent low-effort interactions are enough to sustain our social needs. But honestly, they are like junk food for our social soul. They fill us up temporarily, but leave us malnourished and craving something more substantial. True connection requires vulnerability, empathy, and shared experience, things that cannot be easily conveyed through a screen. This illusion is dangerous because it can prevent us from seeking out the real connection we so desperately need. If we feel we have already connected with our friends by scrolling through their updates, we may be less inclined to pick up the phone and call them or to make plans to see them in person. The digital interaction becomes a substitute, not a supplement, for real-world engagement. We are perpetually in touch, but we are rarely truly present with one another. The convenience of digital communication allows us to bypass the effort that genuine relationships require, and in doing so, we rob ourselves of the profound rewards they offer. We must learn to distinguish between the performance of connection and the reality of it. It requires us to be more intentional about how we use these powerful tools. Are we using them to deepen existing bonds, or are we using them to avoid the vulnerability of real-world interaction? The goal is not to abandon technology altogether, but to use it as a bridge to real connection, not a destination in itself. We must remember that quality will always trump quantity. One deep, supportive friendship will nourish our spirit more than 1,000 superficial online interactions ever could. Our time and attention are valuable. Digital devices compete for these resources. Social media, streaming, and news sites are designed to capture our attention. Algorithms learn our preferences to keep us scrolling in the attention economy. This impacts our ability to connect. It's the scroll trap. It consumes our energy and time. Constant stimulation rewires our brains, shortening attention spans. Escaping requires effort. Set boundaries, reclaim attention, and foster real engagement. Win back your attention. Before we bridge the gap to others, we must turn inward. It starts in the quiet of our own inner world. Self-compassion is the essential foundation. It's treating ourselves with the same kindness we'd offer a struggling friend. It's about acknowledging our own humanity and that pain is part of the shared human experience. Self-compassion allows us to reframe the narrative of loneliness. It's about offering ourselves warmth and unconditional acceptance. It can start with small, simple actions. Rebuilding our inner world starts with becoming a friend to ourselves first. Our minds are often lost in thoughts, replaying past regrets or future anxieties. Mindful presence is gently guiding our attention back to the present. It's about unplugging from the noise of our thoughts and devices to tune into our immediate experience. It means engaging our senses, noticing the world around us, and listening to our inner voice. It can be as simple as putting down your phone and paying full attention to your cup of tea. You can practice this anywhere. Embracing mindful presence also transforms how we interact with others. We learn to offer others the gift of our full attention. It makes the other person feel seen, heard, and valued, which is the very essence of genuine connection. When we are truly present, we are more open and available to the world. Mindful presence is the key that unlocks the door to this richer, more connected reality. Loneliness often comes with a harsh inner critic, whispering that you're unworthy of connection. This voice convinces us we'll be rejected or that we're a burden, trapping us in isolation. The first step to breaking free is recognizing these thoughts aren't facts. They're just old mental habits. Notice when these thoughts arise. Instead of believing them, observe, there's the thought that I'll be rejected. This creates distance, reminding you that you are not your thoughts. Challenge the critic. Is this always true? Can you recall even one time someone was glad to talk to you? Replace harshness with compassion. I feel anxious, but it's possible someone would be happy to hear from me. With practice, you weaken the critic's grip, freeing up energy for real connection. This is how you transform self-doubt into strength, making space for new relationships to grow. Building connection doesn't require dramatic gestures, just small daily actions. Micro-interactions are brief exchanges with people you encounter. A smile to a barista, a nod to a neighbor. These tiny moments say, I see you, and can shift your day, and theirs. Start with non-verbal cues, then try simple words, how's your day? Or nice dog. These aren't deep conversations, but they break the script of anonymity. Each small exchange is practice, rebuilding your social confidence. Over time, you'll notice these moments are often met with warmth. Your world shifts from strangers to a community of potential connections. Micro-interactions are the first steps toward deeper relationships. They remind us that connection is built one small moment at a time. For deeper bonds, shared interests are key. When you join activities you love, painting, hiking, coding, you naturally meet others who share your enthusiasm. The focus on the activity eases social pressure and sparks authentic conversation. Think about what excites you or what you've always wanted to try. Join a club, class, or volunteer group that aligns with your interests. These settings make it easy to connect as you discuss the activity rather than force small talk. Friendships grow from repeated positive experiences together. Be patient and keep showing up. Trust and familiarity build over time. Let your passions guide you, and you'll find your community. The most powerful way to deepen new connections is through active, empathetic listening. True listening means being fully present. Put away distractions and focus on the other person. Don't rush to respond or relate everything back to yourself. Just listen to understand. Ask open-ended questions that invite real sharing. What was the highlight of your week? Or what's challenging you right now? Validate their feelings. That sounds tough. Or I can see why you're excited. This kind of listening makes people feel seen and valued. It's the foundation for trust and emotional safety. Deep listening is where real connection takes root. Combating loneliness isn't just personal. It's a community effort. Across the world, people are creating grassroots solutions, community gardens, friendship benches, and more. Initiatives like Men's Sheds offer shared spaces for connection through activity, not just conversation. Intergenerational playgroups bring together children and seniors, bridging generations and reducing isolation. These stories show that simple human ideas can transform neighborhoods. You can start small, organize a potluck, a walking group, or a book exchange. The goal is to create low-pressure opportunities for people to gather. When we focus on building connection together, we unlock resilience and healing for all. Every one of us can help create a more connected world, starting right where we are. Overcoming loneliness requires a shift in our culture. Imagine a world where we are more attuned to those around us. A simple, "Hey, I was thinking of you, is everything okay?" can be a lifeline. A quick text message, a brief phone call, or even an old-fashioned card can break through isolation. This extends to our digital spaces. Technology can foster a culture of care when used intentionally. Building a more connected world is a call to action for every one of us. Each interaction is an opportunity to contribute positively. We can build a more compassionate world, one genuine bond at a time. The loneliness epidemic can feel like an insurmountable challenge, yet it is a challenge we are fully equipped to overcome. It begins with understanding the roots of our disconnection. It then requires us to turn inward, rebuilding our own foundations with self-compassion. Armed with inner resilience, we can take practical steps outward, transforming micro-interactions. The evidence of our collective capacity for change is all around us. The solution lies in the millions of small, intentional choices we make every day. Therefore, this is a heartfelt call to action. Each act of connection helps to build a more connected, compassionate, and resilient society for all. It is an invitation to rediscover the profound joy and necessity of human connection.